Welcome back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. Aiden, put your you're acting like we got merch, bro. Put the shirt down. You're promoting somebody else, man.
Merch in the
Come
bio,
on.
guys.
Merch in the
That's
bio.
crazy.
Come on.
Maybe someday soon, hopefully.
I still have to make y'all the Words from the Nerds sweaters.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
forgot.
promised,
Yeah, you said it. I remember you said that way back in 2023 before we met up. You said you were gonna do it and you're gonna bring them on the trip.
Yeah, and then I just got like completely rinsed, and I was like, I can't afford this.
Dude, I don't remember this. Was this like pre?
Well, dude,
I remember this. Yeah.
No, Ben, I think.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
were included in it, Ben. I think you were included.
It was
just to get the merch.
Yeah.
It was our logo, and then the back was like, I think the back was going to be a QR code, so that when we walked around Disney, people could scan it and go to our stuff.
Yeah. Maybe Disney next year. You know.
Next year.
Yeah.
You want to go next year?
Well,
Bro,
you're going.
I thought we were gonna
next
wait
year?
until. I thought we were gonna. I mean, I'm done. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if we're gonna do that,
I'm gonna come next year.
tickets are gonna drop like October. We're gonna have to do the ticket thing again.
Oh shit!
Those come out early. Those come out like October, November time. But I thought we were gonna wait until Avengers Infinity Defense, that's what it's called, is like done being built.
Wait, you're so right about. Wait, you're actually right.
And then also the Tony Stark ride as well. I thought we were gonna wait until those are done, and then we were gonna go to Disney again.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, but we'll meet up.
That won't be until like
before then.
2027, 2028 though. So
I'm not gonna lie. It's like 2 years away, so I'm just gonna throw this out there right this second. I seriously think we should consider like Avengers Secret Wars, doing a meetup over the weekend and watching that together, hanging out for a weekend. Pick somewhere that's like,
Yeah.
it would involve
would be
Charlie
sick.
flying, unfortunately, but like,
what is that? Unfortunately, I had to fly to the last one we are just talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like I could drive to Aiden. I could drive to Aiden, and I hope him and I do something a little sooner, maybe later this year, a little Avatar action or something. But
Imagine living in the middle of the country.
But I'm just saying, we should plan something like that where it's like nice little long weekend. Charlie flies out, watch an Avengers movie together in a good IMAX theater.
That would be sick. Yeah, that would be sick.
In a good IMAX theater.
I'm just throwing it out there. In my IMAX theater, in mine.
Bro wants us to go to him, so he doesn't.
Doesn't want to do any traveling.
Yeah, I don't gotta move. But this is the Words from the Nerds podcast, where we bring you all of our nerdy news discussions and opinions and all the glory that comes along with it. I am joined today by, of course, after we've already chatted a little bit, by my lovely co-hosts Aiden and Benjamin. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight before we jump into any housekeeping and rigmarole? Let's keep it short, though. I know you guys love to yippee yap away. Golly.
Well, I'll definitely keep it super short because I haven't watched any movies. I've just been watching Demon Slayer, just trying to catch up before the movie comes out. What I have been watching a lot, though, is yesterday I got a good amount of like watching our old, because I showed you I was watching our podcast, our episode that just released. I ended up going to our Suit draft, and then I went to our Dune 2 discussion, which the Dune 2 discussion kind of made me sad because the whole time, like, Ben's like, I'm ready, like, we've been waiting on this for a long time, like, I'm ready to get back into the swing of things, like, this is gonna be fun. And I was like, damn, we took forever. But one of the funny things about that episode was I introduced it and I was like, we're here to talk about, dude, completely different structure from what we have now. I was like, we're ready to talk about one of the greatest, the best movies in the decade, Dune Part 2. And I was like, let's just go ahead and get into it. 3 minutes. That intro was 3 minutes. And then we just jumped straight into a 2-hour discussion
about
of
Dune for 2 hours. That's crazy.
Which is funny because Charlie had hid his score from us, and we kind of had an idea that he'd love it, and he was like, "This is like one of the greatest movies I've ever seen." Which is funny. I'm gonna call you out on this, Charlie. You said that you walked out of the theater, you were at about an 8, and before a rewatch, you said the more you thought about the movie and the more things you've seen about it, that was enough to get you all the way up to a 9.5. No rewatch.
Wait, what are you calling me out for on this?
That you didn't even rewatch the movie and you jumped up a whole 1.5.
Oh yeah, sure. I think okay. If you're referencing what Ben and I were talking about in the group chat, I'd say I'm still.
Oh
on
no,
point
I
there.
wasn't even talking about that. I was just saying in general, jumping up from an 8
I'm not
to a
gonna.
9 and
We're
a
not
half.
getting into this.
It's crazy. Yeah, let's just not get into that.
I thought that's what he's referencing. Listen, I'm still on point there. So that's crazy.
I also watched our episode after the Secret Invasion. We came back and then we took a little bit, and then we did the Dune, and then we took a little bit, and then we finally came back. That episode, Ben was like, "I'm so ready to get back into it, and I'm excited to be here," because we had just introduced him to another host. And I was like, "Yeah, I said I didn't want to like jump back into doing the podcast if I didn't fully feel like we could be like week to week on point." And so obviously we're here now. We just went on a break. But I got to see our like first reactions, or my first reaction to Deadpool and Wolverine trailer and whatnot. And I don't know, they're just there's funny looking back on all of those and just talking about like Fantastic Four and all of these projects like as if they are years away, or because they're years away. And seeing as we're watching them in theaters now, haven't been watching anything. I've been listening something. I don't know if y'all know this. I was a huge Chance the Rapper fan growing up, like massive Chance the Rapper fan. Like that was my goat. I listened to him every single day. Like I loved him. And then obviously he dropped an album in 2019 that it was just bad. Like his reputation was going down the drain, and that was real hard for me to process. That my goat has just fallen off. It was a bummer to come to terms with that, and so I've just stayed away from him, whatever, just listen to my music. He dropped an album last week, and I started seeing everyone on Twitter being like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." And I was like, "Oh my god, he dropped an album today." Like, cool, I'll listen to it tomorrow at work. And it is so good. It's definitely not his like what I love about his older music, but it's still like a 7.5, 7 out of 10. And honestly, that's all I needed from him right now. Like, at all things considered, it's like an 8.5 out of 10. Like, just he sat past 10 years, how those years have gone. It's an 8.5 out of 10. Realistically, it's more like a 7. But yeah, there are some bangers on there, man. It is such a good album, and it's just felt like literally every shift I've worked this week, I've just listened to all his music again, and so that's been fun.
Dude, I queued
Seeing
it
your
up.
go.
I'll listen to it tomorrow. I'm not even joking.
I'll give you some. I'll give you like my 3 favorites. But yeah, it's so nice to just know that your goat did not follow. Like, God, he's back, bro. It's just so like that feeling is unmatched.
Are you a big rap fan, or are you a big Chance the Rapper fan?
Yeah, I'm so picky when it comes to music.
Sure.
Like I am so picky. If the beat is bad, I'm automatically out. Like I don't care how
Really?
good yeah, like I'm like all about beat. Like this JID song came up earlier today.
One of his new ones?
No, I think it's one of his old ones. It's the black and yellow cover art. Forget. But it came up and the beat just was so bad. But like the way he raps and his lyrics were so good. And I was just like, I can't, and I skipped it. I'm a huge beat guy. Yeah, like if I don't like the beat, I will not like the song.
See, I go both ways when it comes to that. Like on one hand, if a song has a good beat, I can listen to it, I can vibe to it, I'm there for it 100%. But on the other hand, good lyricism, I can overlook a beat entirely and purely just go based on the technical writing. I absolutely can do both. And I think some people swing too far on either side, and I don't like that. Like I can't have absolute like garbage production even if the lyrics are good and it's well written. And I cannot do like my thing is not like Playboy Cardi, where it's the rapping is absolute garbage, and then it's just like a crazy like I can't do that side of it either.
Yeah. Well, see, and like some of my favorite Playboy Cardi songs are just majestic beats, and his rapping sucks, and like I can acknowledge that the rapping isn't amazing, but though it all depends on how they complement the beat and how they go, how they bounce off of it. And so I'm a huge beat guy. But I love striking, and that's why I love J. Cole, because I love striking a perfect balance. If there was J. Cole was my first love, and then it was Chance the Rapper. And my ringtone is still a J. Cole song. And it's been like that, apparently. from 2014 Forces. It
Yeah,
starts
yeah,
off and
Force
it's like,
Goes
I
Drive, yeah.
keep my head high, and that's been my ringtone for literally over a decade. I'm a big J. Cole guy, but I love that he is able to strike the balance of great lyrics and
Yeah.
like a majestic beat. And so, yeah, it's just nice to listen to a new Chance the Rapper album and know that your goat is not a fraud.
Yeah.
It's that's something that doesn't necessarily happen all the time. Such as like Marvel movies. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Chance the Rapper, and yeah, your boys on Cloud Nine that finally have a good Chance album that everyone respects.
Yeah, I'll definitely listen to it. I've been listening to some newer albums. I listened to the JID album that came out a couple weeks ago. I forget which other. There's been a couple in recent months that I've just listened to as they dropped. So I'll throw it on. Yeah.
I'll send you some of my favorites. I won't send you like 5, but I'll send you like my 2 favorites that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was a Joyner Lucas album that came out 3-4 weeks ago or something.
Well, I didn't know he was
as
still
well.
rapping.
Yeah,
Nice.
he is. There's a couple bangers, but yeah. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Haven't watched all that much since we talked last. The only movie I watched, I watched the new Bambi horror movie in the Pooniverse.
Universes.
It had been on my list as like at this point we're still getting the like Monsters United movie that's coming out. It's supposed to come out later this year in theaters. I wasn't gonna go pay to see Bambi in theaters since I paid for Peter Pan. That was kind of that was my limit for now. So I decided to check it out because it had just been on my list of like a couple recent 2025 releases that I wanted to check out at some point. And it's a super short movie. So like I did not, I had the time and I was like, whatever, I'm just going to throw it on. I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. So it's a Bambi horror movie. It is a Bambi horror movie. They made it, they did it. And it each movie has progressively felt less and less like a college fan film, basically. So there's definitely more like budget and effort getting put in. So the future is still bright, but it's still a pretty rough start. Other than that, though, been doing good. Been pretty dang busy just between like work, got family in town, and I myself am traveling this weekend for my anniversary and whatnot. So lots of exciting stuff, but I've also just been pretty busy. So excited for all the things that are happening, but then also excited to have some more space and time to be able to do some other things. Want to finish up The Bear, and watch some other shows. There's other shows coming out that I'm excited for. Like I'm going to watch the It prequel TV show that's coming out on Max. Obviously Peacemaker comes out literally this week. So lots to stay caught up on.
Are y'all planning on watching K-pop Demon Hunters anytime soon?
I might.
I only asked just because of the massive surge in popularity that it's seen. I mean, it's charting, it's breaking records charting. They're doing a release in theaters. Ours sold out. We were actually
said that like basically everywhere sold out.
Yeah, we had tickets, which this is so unfortunate. We were gonna do so the weekend was gonna go Friday night. I was me and Brandon were gonna go watch the Shin Godzilla at Alamo.
Oh, sick!
And
I forgot
then
that was re-releasing.
Saturday, Ninja 2.
Dude, Charlie.
And then
do you even know?
It's just so fun. No, I don't know. Dude, that's sick. Like I
Dude,
don't know.
I forgot that they were re-releasing, and it's like when it comes to peak Godzilla, it's like Godzilla -1 and Shin Godzilla. Like those are the peak of Godzilla. So like
I've heard.
I forgot I was releasing in theater. That was a genuine expression of my
Charlie,
joy.
Jeez, then just sit there, wait for your turn, buddy.
Shut up.
Holy cow, dude. I can't survive. I can't just live anymore.
Anyways, we were on par for an amazing triple feature, which would have been Friday, Shin Godzilla, Saturday, Ninja 2, Sunday, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Dang.
And the wives just completely screwed both of us,
Dude.
L wives. And so Brandon's wife said that she would only go if Maddie went. Maddie has like 2 photo shoots and she tried to make it work, wasn't able to. So Maddie couldn't go. Brandon's wife said she didn't want to go. Brandon sent me my money back for the tickets. So that kind of sucks. But I was just wondering if y'all were going to go check it out because, man, it is doing insane numbers. And also to preface, because this will come out Monday, the reason we're not covering any of the movies we're watching this weekend or Peacemaker is because we are all like, busy this weekend. And so, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it, I think, at some point, but it won't have anything to do with its surging in popularity or theaters or anything. Like, it's still on my list to
Yeah.
check out, but it's not like I'm not like prioritizing it for any of those reasons.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if y'all had planned on watching it.
Yeah, at some point.
I probably will
All right.
eventually.
Now
Boy,
you
what
can
have I
go.
been? Dude, hey, I'm already going. Okay, I don't need your little permission from your little freaking Fruit of the Loom shirt. All right, shut
Hey,
up,
man.
buddy. That's Fruit of the Loom, basically. All right,
Respect.
get your
respect the
underwear
op-op
shirt.
fruit.
Get your underwear shirt away from my eyes. All right,
The op-op
how about
fruit.
that, buddy? So what have I
The
been up
Nika
to the
Nika
past couple
fruit.
days since we recorded? Well, The Summer I Turned Pretty. I just watched that. The couple hours ago. Probably one of the best episodes of the show, truthfully. But also it's also pretty bad for good reasons, for good writing reasons. But anyway, we won't get into that. I have watched a couple of films. I honestly forgot that Peacemaker was coming out so soon, so I should have went harder on the rewatch of season 1, but is what it is. But as for films, I watched. Oh, dude, I knew I was gonna forget the name of the first one I watched. Whatever, I'll do these ones first, and maybe I'll remember. I watched both of the Hitman's Bodyguard movies.
Oh,
Why do you do this to yourself, bro? I was listening to our episode and you're like, Dad, I should have watched the Holdovers instead of fucking Baby Girl and whatever. And I'm like, why
Whoa.
do you do this to yourself, bro? Like, oh,
I'm not saying that
pisses
the
me off.
Holdovers wouldn't be better, but the first Hitman's Bodyguard movie isn't bad.
No, yeah. I
It's
was
a
just
pretty
gonna,
good action
I was just
comedy.
gonna say that. Yeah, it was like the first one was pretty enjoyable. Like Samuel L. Jackson at his best. And truthfully, what's been highlighted here for me is like I've been on the fence of like Ryan Reynolds is just Deadpool in all of his films now, and these films made me lean towards, yeah, that's true. That's pretty true. Especially the second one. The second one is just, he's Deadpool. Like the references he makes, and like they literally stop like mid action scene to make an outside reference about a movie they're trying to remember. I don't know, whatever.
I hate
But
the second one. I hate it.
yeah, it just like there were some. Honestly, Salma Hayek was like her comedic beats were decent, were pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of the writing choices were just weird, like with Morgan Freeman's character and how he's his dad, and then he's also like working for the bad guy. Well, then why'd you let them drive away with your car? Why didn't you just have them like pull up to your house and knock them out there? But anyway, doesn't matter. That's CinemaSins things. I watched those 2 movies, and dude, what was the other one I watched? It was something on Netflix. Oh, the reason I watched those movies though, Aiden, to answer your question, is because I saw they were leaving Netflix soon, and I was like, well, I hadn't seen the second one yet. It was a rewatch of the first one, and I was like, well, when am I ever like? If I don't watch it now, like I'm probably just never gonna watch them until they're on like another streaming service, because I'm not gonna rent these movies. I'm not gonna pay for these movies. So
I think I own both of them actually.
really, why'd you buy the second one if you didn't like it? Why'd you do that? That's crazy to me.
I low key, I kind of bought out when it comes to BOT out, not bought out. I bought out when it comes to Blu-rays. At least I used to. I don't buy as many as I used to because so many things are on streaming nowadays. But I would always be like, oh, I want the DC movie, so I'm gonna own Suicide Squad. It's like, how many times am I gonna watch Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Let alone put in the Blu-ray of it. But that's how I used to be. It's just like I get every single Marvel movie, whatever. I rarely buy them, and like I maybe buy like 3 to 5 select ones a year. I'll buy Superman and like a couple select ones. But
Okay.
I do in fact have both.
That's crazy.
I do in fact have both these
That is
movies.
crazy, dude. I remember the other movie. Aiden's still gonna be mad at me. Hard Eyes, the slasher killer movie.
Wrap
Ben,
this
bro.
fucking segment up, bro.
Dude,
Wrap this segment
listen,
up.
bro.
Bro, you know how long I've been, bro. Start Attack on. Set aside 20 fucking minutes. Yeah, bro. Soon. Let me watch 4 hours worth of these B-list movies, C-list movies, and then this dumbass. Oh my god,
Bro,
Like, I'm
that's
so
what Netflix is
tired of you.
for. That's
I am
what
so
Netflix
tired-
is for,
No,
bro. It's
honestly,
for watching these
Netflix-
crappy little movies, bro.
We have a little like plug-in device for the car, so when we go on long road trips, like we can use Netflix and YouTube on like the dash of the
Yeah.
not safe, but whatever. But it only has Netflix and YouTube. So I'm sitting there, bro, trying to find something worthwhile to watch for like 30 minutes of our drive, and I'm telling her, you want to watch this? She's like, no. She's like, what about this? And I'm like, oh, that does not. And I was like, Netflix sucks.
No,
man.
yeah,
Like,
it's just slop, bro.
nothing.
It's slop movie is all on Netflix, 100%. But that's why, like, I just turned to the ones that I hadn't seen yet. And honestly, part of the reason I watch Hard Eyes is I saw somebody say it was the worst movie of the year. Granted, they said it with like the meme of like a Vine back in the day where the guys was like, Hard Eyes, motherfucker. Like, that's how they said it. But anyway, they said it was worst movie of the year, and I was like, no way, it's worse than Flight Risk. And let me tell you, it wasn't. It was not worse than Flight Risk, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad though.
Bro heard worst of the year and said, "Really? I gotta check that out."
Oh, I gotta set aside a whole hour and a half.
Hold
2 hours to
on.
watch
Wait,
this.
he just said that he watched Bambi. Are we gonna forget about that? Are we gonna forget about how he watches everything in the fucking the Pooniverse? Stop.
Here's
Stop
the
it
thing.
right now.
He's not being recommended Attack on Titan every fucking day, bro. Like, oh my god. I hate you, bro.
But and then I watched the first episode of Peacemaker, season 1, episode 1. That's all I finished of Peacemaker. So yeah, that's what I
Get
did.
into the next segment.
Move along.
But as you all know, if you're regular listeners of us, if you are not, and this is your first time, you can drop a comment on any of our episodes. Not any. If you're listening right now, you can drop a comment on this episode, and we will read it on the very next one. And we have a couple of comments from last week's episode 106. From our lovely When Machine Broke. And let me tell you, Aiden sent a little teaser of one of the comments that he left in our group chat.
Hey, Wind Machine, I just want to let you know, the minute he starts Attack on Titan is the minute that I start Chuck. So there will be no Chuck discussion, none of that, until this man stops watching Hard Eyes, Hitman's Bodyguard, and Mountain Head, whatever it is. There will be none of that until he watches Attack on Titan. So, yeah,
That's
he's
true.
your GOAT. Take it up with him because
That's
no
true.
Chuck
Wind
discussion
Machine-
will be brought up.
Because Wind Machine, okay, well, let me read the comment first so everybody else has context.
Yeah, sorry.
When Machine Broke says, another W episode, boys, let's go. And I take back everything I said about Charlie. He is now my GOAT because he is a Chuck enjoyer. Let's fucking go. He did not say that. I said that. Chuck was the best show ever, and you guys need to watch it if you haven't. Don't want to make this about me for too long, but you asked me what movies I'd seen this year because I said Weapons was my favorite movie of the year. I'm not a movie buff like you guys, but I am quite the movie fan. Here's the movies I saw in theaters this year. Might miss a few. He said Superman was amazing. Fantastic Four was pretty good. Thunderbolts was great. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning was a fun ending to the saga, nothing special. 28 years later, this one shocked me a little bit, was such a disappointment. Actually, it didn't shock me a little bit because a lot of people have said that sentiment, like huge fans of like the franchise otherwise. Well, I mean, maybe not 28 weeks later, but 28 Days Later is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I was so let down, is what he went on to say. Final Destination's Bloodlines was kind of cheeks. Minecraft movie, it was fun with friends. I mean, that's a better review than I would give it. I respect you there. Mickey 17 was just weird. The new Captain America sucked. And then he said, I might be missing some, but whatever. I've watched a lot more this year, but those are 2025 releases. I'm not on your guys' level. I want to watch Sinners soon, and you guys hyped up F1, so I'll check it out on streaming. I also want to see Together while it's on the big screen. Movie recommendation for you guys, Source Code 2011 with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a wild ride. I think y'all would like it. You guys for real have a great dynamic, and I wish you boys nothing but success. Keep it up. Thank you for that.
When was she broke? Yeah, much love, dude. And
Seriously.
I think we should all watch Source Code before next episode recording so that we can talk about it a little bit.
I think that's one
in honor.
That.
I actually no lie, bro. I think because
it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Is it? Let's go. That's
dang, we were just talking about.
We're saying it might be a slot movie now because of that.
I'm saying
list.
Charlie said something about or Aiden said something about not finding anything good on Netflix. I'm saying this is on Netflix.
Yeah, and I didn't see this at all.
Gotcha. I see what you're
It's
saying.
also free on Tubi.
92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, yeah, let's go. I love me some.
It is, bro. It is. I have source code. It's you can't see it because you can kind of read it right there.
Dude, you have source code.
Yeah, I have source code on my notes.
Use Letterboxd though.
I know. Yeah, just using his notes.
Dude, that's too much work, bro. I gotta go in, type in the name of the. Hold on, I gotta go in, type in the name of the movie. I gotta click on the poster, then I gotta go to the little dots or whatever. Then I gotta click add to list, or I click or whatever. There's watch. I click on the little thing and
you literally
watch
just
later.
search it up, and there's a single button to add it to your watch list. You don't have to add it to
a list. Let me
There's your
go through
lists, which take a little bit longer to add stuff to your lists, and then there's your watch list, which is a totally separate thing. Super easy.
Source code. Click on source code, and then go scroll down, and then click on. No, that's reviews. I don't even see it here, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro.
Look.
Just move on to the next comment. Oh my gosh.
The same place you review or log a film, you literally just click the.
Oh, do I need to go to? I need to go to the review. Whatever, bro. The fact that all I have to do is go to my notes app, type in the name of the movie, and then I'm done. That's it. That's it. I don't got to do anything else.
We couldn't even see it on the list versus seeing the poster on a watch list. Like, whatever.
But Wind Machine, I want to say that is literally my favorite show of all time, Chuck. It's my comfort show. I've seen it probably like 4 times all the way through. I think it's the greatest TV show to ever exist. Obviously, I know it isn't. I know there's better TV shows, but I love it so much, man. So honestly, and I don't find many Chuck fans. So that is, I'm so glad you commented that. I jumped up out of my seat when Aiden sent that little teaser. But Wind Machine also said, what are your guys' thoughts on the Batman? Actually, I'm gonna leave this one last because that one's a discussion one. And then he said, all right, I just watched Sinners and I'm pissed at myself for not seeing it in IMAX. Let me tell you, brother. Let me tell you. That's one of the only movies I've seen in IMAX. And yeah, you might have missed out on that one. Then he said, I'll slightly give it the edge over Weapons as the #1 spot for this year. Dang.
Dude. What a
crazy it's crazy in the sense because Ben put Weapons over Sinners. So that's just
I also have Superman above Weapons and Sinners.
No, sure. I know. I know. We all agree you have weird taste. Move on.
All of those at the top,
Sinners is it, bro.
Yeah, Sinners. I know you're tripping hard.
Okay. Yeah, you have Sinners at the top of your list, Aiden. Is that what you're telling me right now? You have Sinners at the top of your list.
Under Nisha
yeah.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not
but
the top.
Nothing.
Not the top,
nothing. Like even getting out of Superman, as much as I loved it, I was like, nothing will. It's gonna take something huge to cross Sinners and Nisha.
Sinners or Dune 2?
To give Nisha a 2 out of 5 star or something.
Sorry, I saw like a little mosquito in my ear. You said Sinners or Dune 2?
Dune 2, yeah.
Dune 2, 1000%.
Dune 2. I figured that's what you said.
That's my favorite movie.
That's not a question
ever.
All right, Ben. That's not a question for you. I know because Sinners is now number 4.
No, I'm just saying you can go down the list of some of the best movies you've ever seen and ask me if I'll take it over Dune 2. Most of them are kneeling down to Dune 2.
Okay.
They're getting
All right.
executed in front of everybody.
All right. This guy
That's how good that movie is, dude.
This guy has some issues in his head, man.
My top 5 for the 2020s is Dune 2, Babylon, Across the Spider-Verse, Ninja 2, Sinners. And then the Batman is 6.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. F1 is the greatest movie of the year. Get the fuck out of here, dude. What are we talking about? Oh, that's crazy.
F1,
take. You know what's
F1
crazy?
would not
Sitting
be in
through
the top.
F1 and being like, that's one of the best movies of the year, dude. Let's go.
F1
that was actually crazy.
F1 would not be in the top 5
Fuck
of the
outta here.
decade. What are we talking about? What is this? Comp?
Exactly. I mean, you're
What is
sitting
this
here
comparison?
coughing at my top 5. Look at your taste, buddy. Take a step back and look at what you have at the top of your list this year. Silence. Okay, continue, Charlie.
Nah.
The fuck?
Wait, yeah, is F1 number 2 for you this year? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy
over
work.
Sinners. Over Sinners. All right, bro.
Superman
That's
at
crazy
War,
work.
Weapons, Sinners, baby.
Wind Machine finishes that comment off with saying, "Sorry for the spam. I'll keep it to one comment next time." Absolutely not, dude. We will read them all. We appreciate them all. Do not feel bad for that whatsoever. Seriously, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. But as for his third and final comment, which is more of our opinions and discussion based, he says, or they say, also, what are your guys' thoughts on the Batman 2 being announced for October 2027? I mean, me personally, obviously, actually, no, I think I have a little bit of a different perspective from this because, like, I love the Batman Part 2, the Batman, but I don't think I love it as much as these two love it. So I was upset and saddened by the news, but, like, I can wait. Like and I'm sure these guys can wait too because they want it to be great. I know you guys can wait as well, but truthfully, it's not even for that reason. Like obviously, I do want it to be great, but like I can wait. Like even if it was just for extenuating circuit, like if Matt Reeves had something going on in his family and he had to take a step back and couldn't film for that reason, he wasn't even writing on the script and working on it to make it better. Like I can wait for it. Like I don't know. I think it's the best Batman movie. I do think that, like, I like it more than The Dark Knight. I like it more than, like I was gonna say Batman Begins, but that one's not as. Would you guys put Batman Begins over Rises, or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen
easily.
Begins. It's been a while since I've seen Begins. So
Too long for me, yeah.
Rises is fine, but I don't think it's great.
I think it's the best Batman movie, but I'm just not that sad.
How many times have you seen it?
2 or 3 times now. Probably twice.
Okay. I'd be curious to see if that changes by the time we get to part 2, because I've seen it 3 times, I think, at this point, and genuinely it got so much better each time I watched it.
Yeah,
It really did for me. I had it at I think an 8.5 the first time I saw it in theaters. I was like, this is too long. I like a lot of aspects, which just, it overstays its welcome. And then as time went on, I just realized like
it needs that
this
runtime, bro.
This is incredible stuff. I'd have it in the top 5 of the decade for me, but
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, with the delays. I can wait because I know he's merging into the DCU, bro. Like it's Hollywood's worst kept secret. He's going to share the screen with David Cornsweat Superman. So
I will say my tune has not changed from the last time we talked about it right after coming out of Superman. I still don't think it's going to happen, but if we recall, I do say that I want it to happen and I wish it would happen. But I'm still holding true.
I don't feel insanely confident on it, but if you had to make me pick to where
there's so many things that are happening. Yeah.
A couple years down the line, am I like where I'd look back and be like, I called it? 1,000%. I think it's happening.
So many little things lining up. David Cornsweat following Matt Reeves on Instagram. I think there's like James Gunn's language, which Ben pointed this out when we were talking about it with Superman, but James Gunn's language has changed from like it's not happening to like it's slowly just like, oh, like we look at all avenues, we'll see, like, never say never kind of thing. So I don't know.
I kind of want to parlay the Batman being in 2027 with the news that I sent today, I think it was, or yesterday, about Greg Fraser, who was the cinematographer on the Batman and a lot of other very, very well-known films. I'll pull it up just so I'm not.
Wasn't he Dune Part 2?
I'm pretty sure he was Dune Part 2 as well.
And he's
Because
not doing
I think
Dune
I think he
3,
passed
right?
up on both for the Beatles.
Yeah.
But
Other movies that he's done, both Dune movies, The Creator, which say what you will about the story, beautiful cinematography. Even Project Hail Mary, he's doing with Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the Spider-Verse guys for the new Ryan Reynolds movie.
They're the
that comes out
directors on
next
there?
year. Yeah.
Or are they just the writers? Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
they're directing it. And then Dune Part 2, the Batman, Rogue One. Obviously, the Batman is like a pretty big standout in that group, but lots of good stuff there. So it came out that he would be working with Sam Mendes doing the four, which I forgot it was 4 Beatles films that are coming out. And that means that he will not be returning for the Batman Part 2. Likely, it didn't confirm that, but it's saying most likely he'll be, working on those movies and not able to do anything else. Obviously, then it's assumed that he's not doing Dune Part 3, considering that's currently being worked on. So I'm parlaying that a little bit because, like, as much as I'm in the camp of like, yeah, I'm fine waiting if things are getting cooked up and they're going to be a really good end result. I feel that way about Spider-Verse. Obviously, I was devastated that we didn't get 2 movies a year apart, and it was unrealistic that they ever set that as the expectation. That just should have never been the case where they set those release dates so close together. We knew that wasn't happening. However, as time goes on, I'm pretty content. Like, yeah, it's been 2 years. I'm fine waiting another 2 years, another 3 years. I'd say even up to another 5 years if Spider-Verse, the third Spider-Verse, is this perfect conclusion that we've been waiting for and that we're all expecting it to be. At that point, like, this is a whole different conversation about just how life moves and how time flows and everything. And it's way too deep to actually get into any of the crazy depth. But it's like time will continue to pass, and at some point that movie will release. And once we get it, the time that passed, we won't think about the fact that we had to wait 4 years for it. We'll just think about the fact that we have it and that we love it. That's at some point all that matters. And I think I've realized that, like, even as Aiden was talking about, watching our old episodes and we're talking about these projects that are coming down the pipeline, and it's like we've seen Superman that we've been talking about for a couple of years. We've seen some of these projects. There's always going to be the next thing, but we're always going to continue to move through time and to get those projects. And so from that regard, it's like, yeah, I'm excited for it. And if they're cooking it up, I'm okay with it taking time. However, when I do hear news like that, then of course I'm a little bit more hesitant, and just unfortunate when news comes out where either, we've had that with Doomsday, with who, writing script stuff behind the scenes and whatnot. I would say that about this as well. It's like, Matt Reeves having to find almost a substitute of his team that made the first film look so amazing. Anyways, Yap session over.
on the topic of on the topic of Greg Fraser leaving in terms of being a cinematographer, I've seen a lot of people throw Roger Deakins' hat in the ring because I don't know the complete details. I thought I saved the tweet, but I didn't. They said he's been talking up Batman a lot, and he's never talked about superhero movies before. Cinematographer for 1917, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, Prisoners, Skyfall, No Country for Old Men. I don't know. I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I love me some Prisoners. I think the cinematography in Prisoners, Blade Runner 2049, just absolute stellar work. And so I've seen a lot of people throw his hat in there in terms of who could fill the shoes of Greg Fraser, and not that mad at it. I like the idea of him taking over if that's going to be the case.
I did just look up Dune Part 3 just to see if it already had a confirmed cinematographer, and It's showing me Linus Sandgren, who did La La Land, First Man.
Oh, I did see that.
Babylon.
Yeah. Because he
Um,
works real close with
Did he?
what's his name? No, not Denis. Oh my God, Babylon, La La Land, First Man.
I'm not gonna give it to you.
His director, bro. Oh my God, it's
Damien
like
Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle, my favorite, like
Gosh.
literally one of my favorite directors of all time. He works really close with him, so that has me hyped because all those movies. I think the cinematography is amazing too.
Good looking movies.
The composer that works real close with Damien Chazelle. I forget his name as well.
Is doing what?
No, he works so close with Damien Chazelle, and all of his soundtracks have been
Okay.
bangers.
I thought you were saying he was doing Dune Part 3. I was
No,
like,
he
no,
just
that's
has
Hans. That's Hans.
no. He just has his like group, like his cinematographer and
Yeah. Too bad Babylon flopped.
composer. Hey, Babylon can flop all at once. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, whatever. Y'all don't even deserve to be put onto that, so whatever. It's all good.
That's kind of.
Don't throw your hands up. Don't throw your hands up because the one time that I am trying to put you on something, yeah.
I've never-
The one time.
No, yeah, because the other time was Better Call Saul. How'd that pan out?
Well, no.
Oh,
Better
great. The
Call
other time,
Saul,
One Piece.
Attack
All right,
on
cool,
Titan.
whatever.
One
Attack on
Piece.
Titan.
Babylon, like what the holdovers, like what do we?
Babylon
There's a
was trying to put him
list.
on there. Yeah, exactly.
And
And
the Ballad
the
of
one time he lit.
Wallace,
What am I?
don't
One
know,
for
whatever
one?
that one's called.
So far.
I'm just
Exactly.
saying.
You're right.
that
No, you're right. You're spitting.
no.
And
Just
Aiden,
saying.
I'm not saying that all these would be bad projects or that either Charlie or I would dislike them. I'm just saying you try to put us on all the time. You said the one time I try to put you on.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry for trying to put you on a peak.
I'm not
I want
asking you to
something
apologize.
amazing, man. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm
God
not
forbid I
asking you to
share it with
apologize.
my podcast co-hosts that we sit here and talk about media every week. Yeah.
notice he didn't say
I'll
friends.
keep
Notice he
quiet.
didn't say friends. Notice he didn't say friends. Let's move on. Shall we?
Until you watch Attack on Titan. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, the power dynamic here is crazy.
On to a little tiny teeny tidbit of
Speedrun
news. Yeah, a little bit of news for the week. News that just dropped today. Tremel Tillman from Severance acclaim and newly Mission Impossible Final Reckoning acclaim has been cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Norman Osborn.
That's what I was gonna add on is that was it confirmed that he's going to be playing a villain, or because I saw
thought
that somewhere.
was like
I didn't see that.
conflicting reports. Like that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a rumor. So I didn't see anybody credible saying
Okay.
anything.
Because
But
once
Norman,
I
bro?
saw villain, somebody tried to say Norman Osborn, and then what did somebody else say? I don't know. Some people are theorizing before the villain thing happened. Miles's dad, Officer Davis. What is his first
Him
name?
and Tina.
Aaron?
No, that's the
Aaron
uncle.
Davis. No,
Jeff-
that's his uncle.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Davis.
his
Yes.
last name
Yeah,
is Jeff.
yeah.
Yes.
No, I thought his last name was Jefferson. I thought it was something Jefferson.
Is it not the same? He
Am
doesn't
I
have the same last
tripping?
name as his brother,
I honestly have no, bro.
Jefferson Davis. That sounds right to me. I could be wrong.
Jefferson Davis is correct.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, maybe I just
Okay.
last name as a first name is crazy.
All right, buddy. And then I saw Straw Hat Goofy dapped him up pretty well at Comic-Con. He said that what if he's playing Robbie Robertson at the Daily Bugle, which would be pretty cool too. But obviously, Tremel Tillman, I just want to see him and stuff. So
Yeah.
truthfully, that is really cool that he's going to be in the next $1 billion Marvel movie.
I love that, bro. Him and Tina, like, oh, this movie, dude. This movie's just feeding the goated TV watchers. And look,
See-
you're welcome, Ben, for getting you to watch these shows. Seriously.
Okay,
What?
you should be thanking me that you watched The Bear. Okay, let's get that straight. All right, The fact that
No,
Tina,
because-
you even care
no.
about Tina, is because of me. No,
Nope, because I didn't
no.
watch it after
Stop.
you recommended it.
Okay,
Nope,
so
I did
then
it. I did
all right,
it.
I'm glad that
cool.
you said that though. I'm glad that you said that though, because guess what? Better Call Saul, that was the one. That was the one you get, buddy.
Shut
because
up, shut
because
the fuck
you're not gonna
up.
watch what I recommend you after I watch
up.
Better Call Saul. Guess what, buddy? You're not getting anything else out of me.
Dude, I mean, I understand a little bit about Tina, but like, nobody put me onto Severance. What?
You wouldn't have watched
Wait,
either of
what?
those shows
Yeah.
if it weren't for us.
What?
Telling you to watch it on
Wait,
the
why did
podcast.
you watch Severance then, Ben? Why did you watch Severance?
No. Whoa. We can go back to. We should actually review the footage on this at some point just so we can confirm. But I
You
swear,
watched all of season 1.
yeah, in
for-
preparation for season 2, not specifically because we were going to talk about it on the podcast.
I think I'm with Aiden on this one. I don't
No,
know.
no, no,
I don't
no.
know about
I
this.
don't think so.
I swear it just came out. It was coming out, and I like knew about the show, and I watched it. I watched it with John. I think I watched season 1 with John.
Before this
No.
year?
Not
I
before
don't-
this year, but I'm saying I did not watch it. I don't think in any sort of preparation for what I don't think so. I thought I just watched it because I wanted to watch it, and then I wanted to watch season 2.
I swear I said, or like I texted 'cause I
Aiden,
was
yeah.
watching season 1, and I was like, we
Because
gotta
Aiden
talk
wanted
about
us to
this
cover the
season
show.
5.
Aiden wanted us to cover the show.
So Charlie was like,
remember
all right,
Maybe
bet.
it was a little. Maybe here's what I'll admit to. Maybe I wanted to watch it, but also I was pushed to watch it a little quicker so that we could talk about it. Maybe it's a little
Sure.
bit of both.
I'll give when we're off, we should review the footage just to,
You have
to
fun with that.
get some clarification. What? You're the one who put the idea forth. That's crazy. He's already bailing on his own idea.
I realize I don't care that much.
That's insane, dude. That's insane.
Wild.
But yeah, Tramel Tillman in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And
love
I guess
it.
we'll talk about this as like a branch off of Spider-Man Brand New Day. This one isn't like technical news. It's not like known fact for at least the wider world right now. According to Daniel RPK, Florence is what I almost said. Florence Pugh has been cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day as well, which obviously we can guess that would be as Yelena, which a lot of people now are going through. And like, I think on the red carpet premiere of No Way Home, Tom said that he would love to do a scene with Florence Pugh as like a Spider-Man Black Widow crossover. And in one other interview, Florence Pugh said that she would love to do a scene with Spider-Man too. So if that's the case, that's kind of cool. Cool how that works out.
I said something about it in the group chat, and you guys didn't really respond to it, but I was genuine about it, so I'm going to throw this idea out there. I said that I low key see her and Frank
not
Castle.
That's not happening.
Oh,
You don't see them having a little bit of a situationship going on.
I do think, and I think the MCU needs more romance. I don't think there's hardly any of it in there between whether it be between heroes or between a hero and a non-hero. There needs to be more, but I don't see them meshing.
huh.
You actually don't see their characters meshing.
Yeah, I don't see them meshing too.
I
I think
don't
the
know,
I could
the
see that.
butt
I could see
heads.
the characters meshing.
Yeah, I don't know. The assassin in
They have a
her
lot
and-
to like relate to each other on. Yeah, I think they find a good conversation balance.
Now, do
there,
I
yeah.
actually think that they will spend time fleshing that out in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Absolutely not. I'm just saying the point I was just saying is that I do see their characters meshing on some level. That's what I think.
1,000%. I do
I
see
think
that. Yeah, I do see that.
Okay.
we-
Frank finding somebody, the first person that he is interested
I
in
like
after
that.
his family is brutally murdered.
They have
is
they
Yelena.
have a lot. They have a lot to relate on. I mean, same with her family dynamics and her having to overcome that. Frank never dealing with that head on. I could definitely see them meshing well.
And then she's in the Punisher special.
I didn't respond to it, Ben, because I thought you were
That'd be
joking. But
No, that's why
I
that's
forgot
why I
you
brought
had
it
said
up
that.
again. Is because like that was a not to say that I think they should do that specifically in this movie. More just like a general thing of like I could see it.
That would be sick. I think I would be a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you, Aiden. Thank you.
I think you guys are
Is the
tripping.
movie becoming too convoluted? I'm gonna keep pulling back on this. I'm gonna keep going back on this. Because I asked this question a couple of weeks ago. Are you getting scared? Are the worries starting to fall in a little bit? Still no?
Me, not at all. No, I like.
I'm not saying I'm one way or the other. I'm just asking.
Because I mean, as far as like the wider MCU goes, what do we have? We have Hulk, Punisher, and now Yelena. Maybe.
Yeah, Scorpion.
Scorpion,
I
sure,
mean,
but that's like
you added the
Spider-Man
multiple
adjacent
villains thing.
like, and that there's already discussions about maybe there's going to be a beginning of the movie, him taking down montage over the years of him taking down all of his villains. So like, I don't think Scorpion is going to be relegated to that, but
I think Scorpion could be not the main villain, but like in cahoots with who ends up being the main villain, which I feel like they want to keep quiet for now. Have you been seeing all the symbiote
stuff he's posting about the
posting?
symbiote? Yeah. I haven't been seeing his post directly, but I've seen other people posting about it.
I haven't seen any of this.
Something to think about. Because then they also said that they wanted Fisk, Venom, and Tombstone to kind of be, which they're just talking about a new trilogy now. I'm like, I don't know. Like I've seen all these reports about like his new trilogy and
is going to be his last type thing.
Not even that. Just I didn't even know that they were having him do a new trilogy.
See, but that's something I don't think that's not confirmed. No, that's not confirmed. Okay. I have not seen that confirmed anywhere.
I wonder if those. What I'm saying is, I wonder if those reports are coming out because he has signed something that.
I'm sure he did.
The next 3 movies, or you're here for like this next trilogy, and that's it. Because I wasn't even expecting to get another trilogy out of him. I was honestly, I've said this, I was expecting this to be like the last Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Oh, I didn't think that.
So to see,
really, I didn't know that you thought that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had brought it up before. I said, what if this could be his last one, just because he's getting older and he's obviously, like, we see him the Odyssey, like his agent's finally starting to put in work. I could see him graduating from Superman. I said I could see him graduating from Spider-Man in the next couple of years, which means this would be his last, or like, these would be his last 2, and then they'd bring Miles in after Secret Wars. But I guess maybe the 3rd movie could be to train Miles up and have him be like an old Peter Parker after Secret Wars. Neither here nor there. But yeah, anyways, Venom was mentioned in that villain category.
Yeah. Next 3. I'll touch on Venom. I do want to go back to the Miles thing real quick. I don't know how true it is, but I have heard that like Sony does not want Kevin Feige to touch Miles while the Spider-Verse movies are going.
Kind of goofy.
Yeah, I think that's dumb if that's true. But if that is a real reason, then I think that it's perfect for Tom to be having another trilogy to
I'm all for it, yeah.
Finish this out and then at the very end hand it off to a Miles. The only thing I don't think I like about it is that if we hand it off to a Miles, are we just kind of like restarting another young Spider-Man story? Granted, it'll be different. Miles, as Spider-Man, he has his own villains and struggles that he goes through and powers and everything like that. But then it's like, because that's where we started with Tom, so if we just restart with now Miles, after we just watched Miles go through his whole like young Spider-Man thing and across this and with the Spider-Verse films as well. But it doesn't matter. We don't know if that's happening or not. As for the Venom stuff, I believe that they will be doing that just because like the Scorpion Venom storyline that's in the comics and everything. I believe they'll be doing that just because Venom has been done so many times and we've never seen that done. I don't know if it's going to happen in this movie though. But then again, why would Michael Mando be like posting all of the stuff that he is? If they are doing that, I think that's a bit too much.
It's also been like,
unless he's the main villain. But even then, like you got Hulk and Punisher and maybe Yelena. Then I think you're doing too much. If you got the symbiote and everything going on.
I don't think so.
Really?
Wow. Here's my stance.
The symbiote introduces too many things in my mind, dude. Too many things.
It just like I've said this before on this podcast, and I stand on this take, and I think this is a great, just reasonable take to have about it. Not to say that you guys are being unreasonable, but
he thinks. Hold on, let's just get this clear. He's saying that his take that he thinks is the best take in the world, and it's the most reasonable take. Great, bro. That's great that you think that about your take. I'm happy for you, bro. Like what?
All I'm saying is, I can understand where you're coming from, but then I also think that you should be able to understand where I'm coming from. Like,
Sure.
we can all be reasonable. I'm not trying to.
Well,
I'm
what's your
not trying
take
to-
though? Let's say your take, brother.
Okay, I've said this before. When we have movie examples like Infinity War, which is right at about a 2.5 hour movie, and you talk about how many characters were in that, how they were able to bring in past storylines and merge it together, introduce us to Thanos, like really introduce us to Thanos. And yeah, he had his little goon squad, and most of them are whatever. When you look at the progress for everything that happens in Infinity War, whether it's collecting the Infinity Stones, Thor making his new hammer, traveling to Wakanda, the storyline with Wanda and Vision and trying to save Vision while extracting the stone and destroying it. All of those things happen within a 2.5 hour movie. When you look at where that movie starts and ends, it is a journey, and it a lot happens. So when I look at a movie like Spider-Man Brand New Day, you can give me a massive cast of characters, you can bring in concepts that could be in the movie. There will not be many, like, you could keep adding things, and I think it would take a lot to push me over the edge to be like, whoa, this is too much. Because I've seen movies that take a lot of things and do just fine. So just like every other movie, whether we have reveals, a trailer, no matter what, until I sit down in the theater and see it, those things don't worry me.
But
Those
see
things
what
specifically don't worry me.
what changes for me is the fact that that's an Avengers Infinity War movie, and this is a Spider-Man movie. Like, you're not talking about fleshing out a lot of characters. You're talking about Spider-Man. Like, y'all had this problem with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. All of these arcs and all of these characters that are added into this movie. This isn't an Avengers movie where we care about all of them equally. This is a Spider-Man movie where we want to see Spider-Man and his arc.
Why
Does
can't
that
we?
not change anything?
No, like, okay.
Because
so
you're
I have a good
You're
I have a
right.
good example of this. Dune Part 2. Same thing, massive in scope, so many things happen, lots of characters, lots of storylines. However, that is Paul Atreides' story. That is about Lisan Al Gaib. Okay, we care about him and the journey that he's going on, and everything around him adds to it, but he is at the center. So it's, again, if this movie is executed poorly, yeah, maybe it's a fan fest where we see too many villains, too many characters, and it takes away from the storyline of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That wouldn't be good at all. But can you have all of these elements pushing along the story, pushing along the narrative that elevate the character arc he's going on? Absolutely. You
well.
can.
See, I agree with that, because if you're arguing just in general, look at what this movie did with this many people in this amount of time. It can be done. I agree. It can be done. My worry comes, and whenever I ask the question, if you're worried about it being convoluted, comes with adding the attachment of for for Spider-Man in this movie, and for Spider-Man's arc in this movie being taken away at the expense of having all of these characters in there.
Depends on the arc. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Depends on the arc. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just, me personally, with, if the symbiote is, because, like, think of all the variables that go into just the symbiote alone, not it being attached to anybody, but just the fact that it's from Venom's universe. It's, so that brings in multiverse elements that have to, like, be questioned in some way. And we know that this version of the symbiote actively speaks to people, actively has its own, it's, the symbiote is a character in and of itself, right? So
I
that
think
brings
they'll
in,
retcon that.
I think so too, but I feel like you have to do that in a very certain way, to where people aren't going to question it, you know, which that takes time, you know, maybe not much, but then you add on to it attaching to Scorpion and whatever that does to which I also don't know if I love that, because we haven't even gotten to see Michael Mando as, like, regular Scorpion yet. Like, I'm sure we will for a portion of the movie, however long that is, but I want to see a distinct difference between the two, between non-symbiote Scorpion and and symbiote Scorpion, that kind of thing. And then we still got to focus on, why the hell is Hulk here? You know, what is Hulk here for? Not that, like, Doctor Strange had some grand purpose in No Way Home or some grand arc or anything, but maybe I kind of want to get away from that, just throwing in characters just to have them in there, you know? I do agree with what you're saying, Ben. Like, there's a way to do it and a way to handle all of these characters. But do we think that the writers from the home trilogy can do that? Is the question. Granted, in No Way Home, did they handle it pretty well? It was still a largely Peter Parker story that was Peter Parker focused, and they had all of these other villains in there. A lot of them got like were just there to be there. Sandman, Lizard especially. Lizard had nothing, that kind of thing. So like, since it's the same writers, maybe with Destin Daniel Cretton there, it'll be a little bit different and a little bit better, hopefully. But that if the symbiote element does worry me for that reason. So
I think there's a good way that you could play with the symbiote element and not have. Granted, not to your point of like bringing up a lot of questions, but I could see a scenario where Punisher is basically the devil on Peter's shoulder at this point in time in his life when he's at his lowest. Who better to influence him into giving into that grief and that despair than Punisher himself? Obviously, you'd have to have somebody else as the angel on the other side of the shoulder. I think that could be Sadie Sink's character. Hulk would have to be reduced down to a Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok type of role. And then I could see a scenario where he faces Scorpion, beats him pretty easily, and then again, this mystery villain that we keep hearing about gets its hands on the symbiote, uses Scorpion as as their hitman, and sends the venomized Scorpion out to Spider-Man. Obviously, that'd be like a second act thing, and then we get from there on out. But I think that's a good way that you could. Now, again, how does Yelena fit into all of that?
she could just be honestly, we could just be looking into it. Maybe she's just like a post-credit scene for Secret Wars kind of thing, or Doomsday, excuse me.
I could see her in the third act popping in, I don't know. Maybe something happens in New York.
What do we think about a venomized Raging Hulk?
Well, see, and that's the other
I thought about
thing
that too, and it's like, like then it's like I don't know, like it's cool, yes, it's cool, but
it's hype moments and aura.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just hype moments and aura, bro. It's like it's gonna be a sick fight, and it would be really cool to see. But then we're taking time out of the runtime of the film for.
Okay, can we throw some guesses on who we think the big mystery villain is that they're trying to keep?
Okay. Well, on Pinterest, there was like a mood board or whatever for the villain, and there was a lot of like samurai or Japanese inspired stuff. It looked like potentially, and from what not myself, but somebody else said this on Twitter that is it Silver Samurai, and like that's a Wolverine thing and everything like that. So like I don't see that happening. But I struggle to, I don't know. I can't, who would be, because all the scoopers like Daniel RPK and this guy who posts 4K pictures of everything, Alex from CC, they're all acting like it's huge, bro. Yeah. They're acting like it's going to be a huge reveal and nobody knows. So like, I can't imagine how big of a person it would be for that kind of thing. I don't know.
Is Mr. Negative, is that like a confirmed thing, or is
no?
They actually just said that that's not the case at all.
Yeah, says he's not in it.
Like
all the scoopers said that anyway.
The Hulk theory that I was bought into was because of Mr. Negative.
Sure, yeah.
And that was the way we were going to see a Raging Hulk fighting Tom Holland, which I was going to bring that up to point that out as why Hulk wouldn't be like a Doctor Strange role, because I don't really see him being like, he's not going to be Bruce Banner talking to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I just see him more as like, the villain using characters that Peter Parker knew against him and having them be adversaries that he has to take down. That's more what I saw it as, but I didn't know that I thought the Mr. Negative thing was more confirmed, to be honest.
No, yeah, that's just they saw the image on the side of that tank that looked like the Inner Demons thing, and we all ran with it, but scoopers found out that he's not in it. So
then who do we actually know right now? We know Scorpion.
Yeah. Scorpion, Punisher, Boomerang. Hulk are absolutely confirmed.
Boomerang was one of the people from the event that they did a while back. But again, I think that's like montage stuff. But
Yeah. There was an image that I think Destin Daniel Cretton's assistant posted on like some Instagram story of like a bunch of different Spider-Man comics, and I think what's his name, Arachnid? No, I don't know. It was some like spider themed villain that would also be probably a montage thing, but that's not confirmation though either. That's just them posting it on the story and having that be like an inspiration kind of thing.
Sure.
So as for like confirmations, I don't think there's much.
Charlie, was this the guy that you were talking about earlier, Alistair Smythe?
Oh yes. Well, that's not who I was talking about with the Japanese stuff, but that could be the case actually.
I saw somebody mention this. I don't know much about him, but I did see somebody mention something about like, oh my gosh, it's right under our noses. It's
Why
this
is there?
person, obviously.
Is there just this massive fan casting for BJ Novak to be him?
No, he
Well,
was.
he
He
was
played
in
Alistair
it
Smythe
in-
in TASM too.
As him, yeah.
Yeah,
What? He was in that movie?
yeah.
Am I
Just
tripping?
for he basically is just mean to Jamie Foxx's character in the elevator. That's all he was there for.
Dude,
But, I mean,
wow.
This
I
was
totally
one of the
forgot.
other names. The other one was Jackal. A lot of people were saying, which again, I'm bringing all this up to you so that you can.
See, then if they do, and then Alistair Smythe, that's a whole nother like. I don't know, dude. Granted, that's not confirmed, but that's a lot to do, man. If Scorpion has a bigger role, and if the symbiote is part of it, I feel like they would not be letting him post this symbiote stuff, though, bro. I don't know. Like, didn't the Jamie Foxx stuff? Didn't that get taken down? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, because it had the
Back
three.
for before No Way
Spider-Man.
Home.
Yeah,
And I don't
I
think this
think
Michael
that
Mando
was-
stuff hasn't been getting taken down, right?
I feel like that's different though. Like, of course, you'd want Jamie Foxx to take down his 3 Spider-Man looking at Electro. pose.
there would be. I would say there's limits to that. Like if you're just okay with the Scorpion actor confirming that he's returning because he's a small part of the film, and you have a bigger villain you're trying to hide, you probably don't care about that.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I view the symbiote as it's such a they're actively teasing that. They've been teasing that since No Way Home.
I think I
since the
agree
end
with
of
you
Venom
though
2.
that we're not gonna get at this movie. I think if anything, it will be.
The second movie for sure. I think.
I think it will
Yeah.
be like a post-credit scene teasing that, like, okay, they're gonna actually focus. Like,
Well, I think
Spider-Man
he could
movies
actually.
with symbiote post-credit scenes.
well, but think about
I think
it.
he could
No Way
actually get it
Home
in like
was-
the third act.
that was more of a Venom post-credit scene, right? Like, it's not.
Sure, for Venom 3, but then also the future of Spider-Man, like the very
I don't.
last bit
I don't.
of showing the
I don't
symbiote
think
gets left
they.
behind.
I don't think they do the symbiote in the post credit scene again. I think that'd be something that he could probably acquire or come into contact
At the
with
end
in
of the movie?
At the in the third act, yeah, like at the end of the
Ooh,
movie,
Imagine he
setting
pulls
up,
in Secret Wars as Venom.
setting
Or
up
maybe they make him get it in Secret Wars for the first time.
in the second
Just,
movie.
just
Yeah,
like in the comics.
Heck yeah, dude. No,
Yeah.
I do we think that Tremel Tillman is going to be playing a villain? Is that kind of the thought with him being I mean, I know we threw out some options, but like, are
those
you guys
rumors don't just come out of nowhere. That's the thing.
If
Like,
yeah.
like, why didn't that happen with like Tina? Like her actor.
Yeah,
like,
true.
why didn't that come followed with some rumors of substantial? Like.
I mean,
If he is a villain,
with
I
Sadie
worry
C.
that it's just he's a montage villain, like we're talking about, and which
There's
is
no way you
cool.
cast Tremel Tillman
But that's
for
the
that.
thing, yeah. I don't want him. Like, I want them to be, and I worry that Tina is also. She's just going to be in here for, like, the rumor right now is that she is Mrs. Delmar. Is Mrs. Delmar going to be a big no? Like, she's going to be in one scene, bro.
Do you think they'd announce these actors and like say this person has been cast for small roles? Like, I don't know. Am I just missing something? Like, does that happen usually? Like, I just don't see how you announce Tremel Tillman and even her and just
See, but
have
they've
them
wasted
down.
people before. Who did we the guy we wanted for Reed Richards at one point?
Oh
Who was
yeah,
in Quantum
yeah.
Mania? who's in
Damn, that's a
Quantumania.
good
They
point.
wasted him in Quantumania.
William Jackson Harper.
Yeah. Wasted
That's a
him in
really good
Quantumania.
point.
Tremel
Not that he's
Tillman
on the
was
same level of
barely in
I think
Mission
Tremel
Impossible.
Tillman is, yeah. See, and that's the
Yeah.
and he was good in Mission Impossible. That's the thing, yeah, barely in it. And then also in Mission Impossible, who was in it even less. I know you guys haven't seen Ted Lasso, but the blonde woman who Tom Cruise's character talks to right before going to meet Tremel Tillman's character, she's in it for even less, and like she's pretty good as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
You are
Dude,
out of your
low-key,
damn mind.
Tremel Tillman as like Norman Osborn.
That's what I'm saying,
No, yeah.
bro. Like
That
that's,
would
that's
be
what immediately
fantastic.
followed.
I can just hear him. I mean, obviously it's because of Severance, but his like stern,
But I still
Peter
think Coleman
Parker. I can
Coleman
hear it.
Domingo, like I think
Oh yeah,
I'd
no.
want it, like, but
true.
I don't know.
Very true. That
I
yeah.
mean, there's lots of good options.
It's
Obviously,
too amazing. Like I'd love to be in that.
Do we introduce Norman Osborn right after? Granted, it's 3 years later for
I don't
Peter,
even want
but
to
like
think
right
about,
after Norman was already a thing in
or like
Peter's life in No Way Home.
I even saw people talking about I forget his name. Jesus Christ, Steve Harrington.
Joe Keery.
Joe Keery. Also, Ben, one of the songs I'm going to send you, they sample "End of Beginning." Chance the Rapper samples "End of Beginning"
Oh,
by
really?
Joe, by Dijo, and it's on, dude, and it's gorgeous. Anyways, yeah, Joe Keery. Like I saw a lot of people bring up, oh yeah, why would Tom Holland Spider-Man be friends with somebody named Harry Osborn after everything he went through in No Way Home? And I mean, I think that's the price you pay with having all of those villains appear in No Way Home, and unless you use fake names for them and have that be revealed to Peter later, there's so many hoops you have to jump through, though.
I kind of love that there's so many questions with this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love also that because of these so many questions that a lot of the set pictures have stopped coming through, so we won't.
Did you see Did you guys see the one from a few days ago? I think it was a little montage, but it included a little scene of Punisher actually fighting.
Oh, I did not.
No.
I saw the
Are you
one
sure
of
that's
Peter
not?
fighting.
Are you sure that's on the Spider-Man set and not like residual videos from the Punisher?
I guess all of this. No, well, there's a mixture. I just sent it to the Instagram group chat. There's a mixture
Okay. Yeah,
of what
this
looks
first
like,
one. This first one is Daredevil season 2. I've seen this one before. Him walking here.
Yeah,
that one might be from his thing. I don't know though.
Okay.
I don't know about
It
that.
could
Yeah,
just
that's
be a
But the first
definitely
one is
him.
absolutely Daredevil season 2. I saw that
be
one
a
before.
compilation then of a little mashup of behind the scenes from recent projects. But yeah, I saw that and I thought that was cool. I am really, really excited to see how they approach it. I don't know, like this villain is going to shock people and be unbelievable. It's like a Sadie Sink Spider-Gwen from another universe, or what do we what would actually blow us away with any of this? Because nobody would be blown away by a Norman Osborn. Even a Mr. Negative, I don't think would blow people away that much. You would be blown away by Norman Osborn as a villain?
Yeah, I think I would.
I don't think so.
In what way though, Aiden? Like Green Goblin again, or just pulling the strings, kind of?
Just seeing him in the MCU and seeing like Peter's version of Norman Osborn, getting that confirmed, and getting that on the big screen for the first time, and Jesus. Aside from No Way Home, how long? I think I'd be pretty blown away by that, by confirmation that it's Norman pulling the strings and using Scorpion as his puppet.
I almost feel like with Norman Osborn, you can have him, sure, but I feel like you need to play the long game with him now, is my thing. Like after No Way Home, especially, yeah, I feel like you have to play the long game with him, like some Spider-Man, the Spider-Man games that are coming out right now, kind of long game. Because like Norman Osborn, there's not even a hint that he's going to be Green Goblin in those games right now. And so,
yeah, true.
Just because of everything granted for Tom's Spider-Man, it's 3 years ago at this point, but still, that's not something you forget. The guy who killed your aunt, your last living parent figure, like that's not something you forget, So I feel like
Yeah,
you
they-
have to have a Norman that's nice, like the show, the most recent show. I can't think that Your Friendly Neighborhood
Your
Spider-Man.
Friendly-
You like have Norman be not a mentor figure. We don't need that anymore. Peter's his own Spider-Man and everything like that. But just have him be like a kind person, or facade of a kind person, donating to big charities, going hosting events and stuff like that. But behind the scenes, yeah, he could have a hand in all of this stuff that's happening in the city, and we can see that. But have it be like a audience dramatic irony. That's what it's called, where the audience knows, but the characters don't know. So
yeah.
I think that would work out. I just don't think you can do immediately Norman being a villain and Peter understanding that he's a villain right after No Way Home.
Dude, I just had a beautiful, beautiful thought. I was thinking about, okay, if we are getting Norman Osborn, and if it is Jamel Tillman, who would play Harry? And you know who came to my mind?
Who? Because I was trying to think of this earlier and I couldn't land on anyone.
Miles
I knew he was gonna say
Catania.
that. I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah.
From
Oh my!
Sinners. I knew he was gonna say that.
I had to pull it up, and then I looked at a picture again just to, like, refresh my memory. I was just like, he fits the bill.
He said he wants to play Miles.
Miles, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think by
But
the
he did
time
say
we're
he
ready for a
wanted
live
to
action
be-
Miles, I don't
He
think
might be
unless they go
ready
the
for it.
opposite direction, like I'm want them to, an older Miles, so we just have we stick with an older Spider-Man. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Eventually, he could be Miles. I've said this before. I think, like, nowadays we're probably too wrapped up in actors and actresses being popular before they get cast as a superhero.
sure.
Instead of, in the olden days, it was, let's find some talent of people who really fit the bill and then go from there. In this case, it's talent plus popularity. And sometimes popularity probably even wins out a little bit over talent.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the
I'm
Fantastic Four cast. I'm not upset at the Fantastic Four cast. I like all of those actors and actresses in
Could've
their
done a little bit
respective
better.
roles, but it very much feels like a
Popularity.
popularity pick. 100%.
Yeah.
With the exception of Vanessa Kirby,
Yeah, Vanessa
I'd say
Kirby's 1000%.
a popular one, or
I would say so. She's in Mission Impossible, Fast and
That's-
Furious. I don't like.
I mean, but
Hobbs and Shaw. Come on, bro.
Dude, but I'm just saying, like, even Eben Moss Backrack. It's like,
Yeah, I'll
when-
give you that. I'll give you that for the bear.
He's in a very popular show. It's like
Mhm.
Vanessa Kirby is in a couple of very popular action franchises. I don't like. To me,
I'd
those
still
don't
push
seem that
back.
far. Those don't seem
Yeah,
that far apart.
I wouldn't.
I think
yeah.
her casting was one of the only ones that I was like, they took a real like this one feels very.
And
I-
that's not to say that like those for anybody watching, like I think that they did a good job in those respective roles. Like I think Pedro is a
Yeah.
fantastic read,
Yes.
but I do think that he was cast for more popularity reason, than talent.
would-
Not that Pedro Pascal doesn't have talent; he has tons of it.
I would just love to see the list.
Dang,
of
bro,
other-
he's not listening. You're good, bro. You're good.
Hey, bro,
I
I just
would
want the
just-
stands to come after us, bro. Come on.
I would just love to see the list of other actresses that
Yeah.
could have played Sue Storm, to really believe that she wasn't a popular.
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie.
See,
See,
but
but then you'd have to retcon the thing that happens in Guardians Holiday Special.
Whatever. Yeah, the holidays. But I'm just saying, like that was the definitive other pool. Like that was the other one that was considered.
And we don't have to get too far into this, but one, she's Harley Quinn, and two, I think they balance popularity, of course, with actual matching of the characters. There's a balance between that. I don't think Margot Robbie, to me, fits the bill of
Oh,
Sue
yeah, no,
Storm,
not at all.
personally. So
I'm just
that to me would be fully popularity and not a balance at all. I'm saying Vanessa Kirby was a balance.
yeah, but you were saying you would need to see who the other options were to see how you feel about Vanessa Kirby. That was the definitive other option, that they had her agreed to come on board and do it, and then things fell through and they went with Vanessa Kirby. I think 1000% they were looking for a popularity cast, and Vanessa Kirby obviously won out afterwards. But yeah, I mean, they were looking for Adam Driver as
I think that was a hard cast for them to fill with actors, truthfully, and I think that they don't want to admit it, truthfully.
I I mean, they were 1,000% going with the let's get some popular names. Like we
Yeah.
need
Like the
some
fact
big
that they, like you said, like they tried to go for Adam Driver. Like we as fans, we were calling it like they were never going to do William Jackson Harper for that role. They're just now that we see what they were going for with the popular cast, like they were never going to do that sort of thing.
Joseph Quinn
Or your pick of Raul Coley, they were never going to do like Raul. Like
never. Yeah, Rudy Pankow as Human Torch would have been infinitely better.
It used to be different when casting these roles. It used to be, let's cast somebody who really embodies this character, and then they become popular and known for being that character. And now it's vice versa. It's let's take already popular actors and put them into these roles.
And for the sake of everything aside, that's what I love so much about the One Piece casting is that they confer with Oda himself, and he picks the cast himself. He handpicks who is going to play these characters. Literally, I hadn't seen any of them except Emily Rudd, and I think I didn't even watch anything she was in. I had just seen her before. And they are all unknowns. They get cast in this role. Now they're huge, but they all fit their characters so perfectly.
Dude,
so then every casting for season 2, it was the exact same thing, with the exception of Joe Manganiello as Crocodile. But even that, like, they take it to Oda and he gets to handpick. And so he might pick somebody that's been in like little to no projects, but they look exactly like the character. They fit everything about the character to a T. So then when this season comes out and everyone's like, oh my God, of course Inaki Godoy completely embodies Luffy. Well, yeah, that's what Oda saw. That's why he was handpicked. We don't all know him. I mean, I had never seen him a day in my life, but he embodies Luffy like I've never seen before. So that's what I love so much about casting that way compared to casting the popularity pick, because it's like, let them make a name for themselves afterwards.
I do think that there are some characters where it's just they just fit the bill. They just do, regardless of popularity. Like
John Krasinski
as who?
Reed. In terms of like he just fitting the bill, and like that's it.
Sure, yeah.
I would say I agree, just because that's probably why he was a popular fan cast before. Multiverse of Madness.
I'm gonna throw this out here. You know, this is the first time I've thrown this out here. I think we should do a fan cast for some future DC characters, like, you know, casting for like Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. You know, throw out our picks for some of those, maybe on a future episode. But like talking about Batman, my top pick right now is Brandon Sklenar. If you guys know who that is, for Batman.
Drop.
There is a couple of people like that where it's like, regardless of popularity, that like they just fit the bill. Like at some point you can throw that out the window and say, you know, popularity aside, I don't care how well known they are. I don't care how well liked they are, whatever, what projects they're in. If their projects are garbage, that actor fits the bill.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think we should at some point.
Well, that's one of our most viewed episodes organically, is me and Charlie fan casting Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Yeah, we should cast the Justice League. Or
wait, we did X-Men too,
or whatever.
Yeah, we did Wolverine, Professor X, and Magneto.
Dang.
Yeah,
we should do that again. We should do that again for the X-Men specifically when we at some point before
Jake Schreier movie.
Jake Schreier, thank you, Jake Schreier. How did I forget my go, bro? Crazy.
Sorry, my bag's just deeper.
But yeah, I guess that transition from Spider-Man news to a little bit of a discussion about casting actors and whatnot. That really got me excited for the DC fan casting one, because I'm already like Aquaman. Who's the guy who plays Reacher?
Alan Richardson.
Yeah, just keeping Aquaman blonde,
as Aquaman.
As Aquaman, yeah.
Dude, I would have him as Batman before Aquaman.
See, like I know a lot of people like that too, and I don't hate that. He's huge. Be a huge Batman.
He is huge. Yeah.
which is fine, you know.
Yeah.
Aiden, you're the only one who thought that, man. You're the only one who thought that,
That's
dog.
no Ben. Literally, that's why he said it like that again because he was like,
I don't know. I don't. Is that true?
I
man?
don't know.
I really didn't
What I
think of
thought.
it.
That's why I
really didn't
laughed
think
because
of
I
it.
was like, "Come
Oh,
on, Ben."
okay.
He's just got a little kitty brain, you know.
No,
But yeah, we'll do that as a future episode.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
So
So for my topic of the week, I could not. I had a second one, but I've been wrestling with it since we've been in here, and I cannot remember what it was. But so I do have another one, which is kind of like it's on the spot, but I want it to be on the spot. I don't want you guys to run to your letterbox and look at where you have things. I'll give you guys the option. We can have the discussion that Ben and I were having in the group chat,
this is up to you, brother. This is up to you.
or we can give our top 5 super. It's been a good year for superhero movies. They're on the way back up. I would say maybe potentially, maybe not box office wise, but they're on the way back up quality wise. So it got me thinking, what are our top 5 superhero movies of all time? Everything included, DC, Marvel, everything like that. Do not go run to your letterboxd.
I don't have that.
I want it from the heart.
I don't have that list on Letterboxd. I know Aiden does, but I don't.
I do, yeah.
This will be off the
bro.
cuff.
Just
but,
off the cuff.
That's up to you, Charlie. We could have the discussion. It would be better to have it out loud because I think we could explain our points better. I know Aiden would be a little bit third wheeling that. That's up to you though. This is all you, brother.
I think Aiden has a definitive side either one way or the other. He just didn't want to say in the group chat, but I don't think that's not to say that I think he's on my side. I just think he has a side. He's just not saying it. But
I also just didn't read. I like skimmed through because I woke up like so late that day, and I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll read that. I'll watch back and read it later." I still have to really go through it.
Let's do top 5 superhero because like I'm sure it'll be more clippable and we'll get a lot of hate for it. Aiden, where the fuck are you going right now, dude? What were you about to start typing?
I have the notes here for the timestamps and
stuff. The notes of Letterboxd and where you have your fucking placements, dude. Huh?
No, because I already know. I already know my top 3 off the heart, but the other ones is what I'm confused. No, fucker, I'm not doing that. All right, bro.
Because I also thought this because I think it was 2 weeks ago. Some big outlet dropped their list of like the top 25
terrible
superhero,
list.
And it was a horrible list. Yeah, so
absolute garbage.
That got me thinking of this as well for our opinions, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of hate depending on which ways we go. Should I bring up the wheel for who has to start? Because don't be thinking about it too hard. I want this off the heart, man.
I'm thinking so hard.
I know, Ben's thinking so hard. Ben's thinking so hard, man.
Jesus, man. Yeah, that's tough.
Aiden keeps looking at another monitor. He thinks I don't see it.
I'm getting the timestamps, you curly-headed freak.
Are we doing who has to give their top 5, or we're doing order and then we're going 5 and then 4, like each of us?
Let's just all give our top 5. Each person gives their top 5, and then, rather than going. Each person gives 5. Each person gives 4. Okay. Well, let's find out who's starting us off.
The wheel. Back-to-back weeks for the wheel.
Oh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh yes, for audio listeners, it just narrowly, I'm talking as small as it possibly could, was on Aiden, and then it finally went to Ben.
I looked away because I thought it was me, and I was like, "You lucky son of a gun."
That is pixels. Wow. What are we doing?
That's crazy. So Benjamin, give us your top 5 superhero films of all time. Starting with number 5.
Gosh. Okay. Gosh, I hate this so much. I really hate this. I'm doing a bit of a in my head, I'm doing a bit of a unique approach, which is that I love so many different franchises that in my heart, I can't not represent some of those franchises.
Sure.
Even if I was, if I was genuinely objectively looking at things, sure, it might be a tiny bit different, but this sucks. I hate you for this, but in my number 5, I will go with my favorite MCU film. I'm gonna get so much flack for this, and I don't care. I have Avengers Endgame as my favorite MCU film. I don't think we I don't know if we've dove deep into the discussion of my love for Avengers Endgame or my defense of it, and all of people's issues with it, and how I think a lot of people are wrong about it. But to me, this was the perfect culmination of a decade of buildup. Everything that Infinity War did and set up, Endgame capitalized on and did even better. Yeah, it also has hype moments and aura. I'm willing to admit that. So does Infinity War. So I don't want to hear that. You could use that argument for most of the best Marvel movies, whether it's Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, all of them have, even No Way Home. Like, all of them have that to some extent, right? But for me, I have to have that on the list. It's such a special movie to me. Best theater experience I've probably ever had. 250 people in an IMAX theater opening weekend. Nothing has beat that. That movie will have such a special place in my heart. I'm also about to rewatch it for the MCU rewatch that I'm doing. This will be only my 3rd time ever seeing it. And so I'll be curious to see if I maintain that same love or if maybe I view it a little bit more from a subjective perspective and not letting the hype of it overthrow things too much. But I had to have my favorite MCU film on there because the MCU is my favorite franchise. That was probably too much yapping for one film. But gosh, at my number 4, I'm going The Dark Knight.
Okay.
This used to be my number 1 film of all time when I watched it. I was absolutely floored by it. I was newer into watching movies, but it was one of the first movies where I watched and I was like, this is what movies can be. This is insane. And obviously my GOAT, Christopher Nolan. I love Christian Bale as Batman. Heath Ledger's Joker is still a Mount Rushmore villain of all time, in my opinion. So absolutely love that movie. I even wrote a speech on that movie in high school that I presented for people for my speech and debate tournaments that I did. I wrote a speech on morality and I used The Dark Knight as like a very big point in that speech.
I actually think I had to write an essay in college about The Dark Knight. I'll have to see if I can.
It's because it's so good.
Yeah.
Because it's so dang good. Yeah. I hope I'm not forgetting anything here.
That's why I wanted like you're gonna come up like in the clips proving no way he didn't put the Batman, bro. No way he didn't put Civil War, whatever your list is gonna end up being.
Yeah. I hope I'm not. Gosh, you got me doubting now. I'm just gonna have to go with it because this is what you wanted. This is the off the cuff that you wanted. For my number 3 spot, I'm gonna go to the Batman, which is my favorite Batman movie.
I knew this was gonna be on here for him.
And yeah, like I said, just gets better every time I rewatch it. Robert Pattinson is incredible. Even just the set design, like Gotham City just feels like it's alive. Everybody in there just fills the environment and makes it feel like a real place. Paul Dano as the Riddler, of course, I really like. Can't forget my boy the Penguin, and of course, his series was great, so that elevates things a little bit. Just a great movie all around. Gosh, I mean, this is what you asked for.
Top 2.
Off the cuff, off rip.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going with 2 of the most perfect movies that I think have ever been released. Into the Spider-Verse at 2 and Across the Spider-Verse at 1.
Dang, no
Across
Infinity
at
War
1?
on the list. Endgame
Across at
Infinity War.
1? Is that what you said? Across
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one? I love
Well,
that. I
well,
love that.
Charlie, I
love
told
that.
you.
Wait, what? I thought you liked Into more. I thought both of you liked Into more.
Hold.
No,
We'll wait. We'll wait for mine. Hold.
dude, you can't copy.
Ben,
That's my thing.
No, I love it, man.
No, so Charlie, I had Endgame at 5 because that's my favorite MCU film, and I needed the MCU on here. That is
Sure.
my favorite MCU film. That's why I got into it as like it's my favorite. And, people,
Yeah.
But I genuinely think Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are perfect movies.
I was getting scared you were going to leave those off for a little bit, so I'm really happy that you. Yeah.
Oh, no, I knew they were going to be on. I didn't think it was going to be both of them though. I thought you were gonna
and again,
choose one.
I don't know what movies I'm forgetting. I'm not forgetting anything in the MCU because I've just been rewatching those movies, and there's nothing else that Infinity War and Endgame would be the only ones that are close in that conversation. Anything else DC? I mean, Superman is one of the best DC movies, but that's not cracking the top 5 for me. And so it's like, and I haven't seen all the X-Men movies, granted. Logan wouldn't quite be top 5 for me. So it's like, for me, like from what I can remember and think about in this very moment, and just considering the best superhero movies I've ever seen, Into the Spider-Verse I think is a perfect movie, and Across the Spider-Verse is somehow even better. That movie is phenomenal. I think if you go back to our discussion,
swore you guys had Into a higher. I could have sworn that because I remember telling you guys I like to cross more, and so
if I did, I'll put the hand up. I'm a changed man. I think it's better. Like I think.
I mean, we have our discussion on it, so I can just go back and watch. But it doesn't matter.
I just think Across the Spider-Verse just elevated things to the next level in every metric, whether it's storytelling, animation, the character of Miles Morales, literally everything elevated to the next level. So that's what I would say. Avengers Endgame, my favorite MCU film. The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan film, of course. The Batman, my favorite Batman film. And then Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. That's from the heart. That's from the heart right there.
I like it. You could tell that boy was nervous the whole time.
I need to pull up the wheel again.
I still don't feel confident in what I just said. I don't know.
That's good, baby. That's good.
Charlie, can I look up superhero films now?
You can look up now. Yeah. You can look up now and see. Is that way I can see the look of regret on your face when you find one. That's
no, I think you're based, man.
All right, me or Aiden, who is going second? And is this going to be another Pixel? No, it's Aiden. It is Aiden.
Oh, all right. Jeez Louise. I just want to shout out Monkey D. Luffy. I want to shout out my family back at home before this. All right. Before this top 5. All right. I'm glad I get to go second. I had a little bit of time to think while Ben was going. At my number 5, 1,000%, I feel strongly in saying that it is Superman. Movie really? Absolutely changed my life. And that's just, as someone that didn't consume a lot of Superman, didn't really understand the character of Superman. Movie changed a lot for me. I still often think about that movie. There's no way it cannot be in my top 5. I think it's a gem of a movie. Number 4, The Batman. We've talked about it. The rewatches get better every single time. I think it is a perfect movie. If not, it's a 9.8, 9.7. It's a great movie for all the reasons Ben stated when he went. Number 3 is Infinity War. It's just, I've watched that movie so many times. It is my comfort movie. I think overall it is a better movie than Endgame. The structure is a lot better, in my opinion. The stakes and the characters that we juggle and how they react to those stakes and how different people react to them, such as Star-Lord and Thor, and then someone like Captain America, and how the things that follow that and how all those characters react to what's happening. I think it just makes for a stellar movie, a perfect movie. There's not a single thing in there that I would change. There are some things in Endgame that I would change. There are some character moments that I think are questionable. Infinity War, I think overall is absolutely perfect. It's by far my favorite MCU movie ever. Over the past couple years, it's overtaken Winter Soldier. And my number 1 and 2 at 2 is Across the Spider-Verse. At number 1 is Into the Spider-Verse. I think Into the Spider-Verse is still they're neck and neck.
Maybe it was just Aiden. Maybe it was just Aiden.
Yeah, it was just me. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it was just me when
I didn't remember.
When we had the discussion, I said I still think Into is maybe a little bit better, and I still stand by that. I've rewatched Across the Spider-Verse recently. And it is, I mean, they're both 10 out of 10. I think they are both perfect movies. They are 2 of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And I think they're both phenomenal. That's just a testament to what both of those movies have been able to do in their universe. I just find the Into the Spider-Verse aspect maybe a little bit more endearing as more of a coming of age movie, and taking Miles on that journey for the first time. And showing him what letting go looks like, and showing him what leaping into scary moments or leaping into the unknown looks like. I think all of the things that they juggle in there are so endearing. A lot of those aspects I still apply to my daily life. I'm starting a new job Friday, and I'm horrified. I'm so nervous. And I always just keep, especially this past week, I just keep thinking back. It's just a leap of faith. It's just a leap of faith. That's all it is.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
so
a banger, bro. Life lessons you learn. Oh, that's a banger.
Yeah, dude. I still apply that stuff. I just think that there's just a certain aspect of that movie that calls out to me a little bit more than Across. But my God, Across just builds on all of that and continues to give Miles even more life lessons, showing him that he belongs and showing him that he has a right to be who he is and that he has a right to exist.
Don't let anybody tell you that you don't belong there.
I'm gonna do my own thing. So I mean, those are 2 amazing movies. We know that, we've talked about it. Number 5, Superman. Number 4, The Batman. Infinity War, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse.
Bang. Bang, bang, bang. As for myself, the one who came up with such a glorious question and who had the longest time to think about
I'm glad you went last. I would have been mad if you had to go second with all this time you've had.
With all this time to think, truthfully, because it's still so off the cuff, like I don't even think that I'm still like ironclad in my list. But that's not, I don't want to sound like I'm copping out of my picks already.
Yeah, spit it out, buddy.
With number 5, I think I land with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Whoa.
I truly that film, and you guys know I'm big on character, I'm big on heart when it comes to character arcs and everything like that. And just for Rocket alone in this movie, like my goodness, man, my goodness, everything that it brings out of you, and everything that you could argue that there's a lot of it that's for cheap sort of emotional moments, like everything with Rocket and his friends and everything like that. But I just think that it's extremely well handled compared to, I mean, the one right before it, Guardians 2, which I think I like it more than someone like Benjamin. But still, I think that this just even takes it a much higher than I thought was possible. I like it more than, I mean, clearly I like it more than Guardians 1, unless you guys think that Guardians 1 would be on the rest of my top 5. But anyway, number 4.
I think I like Guardians 3 more than Guardians 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Really?
I might not have said that before recently, but rewatching the MCU, I told you guys I lowered Guardians 1.
Guardians 3
I guess I don't remember you saying that.
I remember him mentioning that and 2. Guardians 3 is my 10th. So yeah, it's my top 10. So yeah.
Top 10 MCU or top 10 all time?
All.
Okay. Number 4, Spider-Man 2. I love the hell out of Spider-Man 2, bro. I don't know what it, no, I do know what it is. Dude, and it was rekindled for me recently with, I don't know why, but people just started randomly posting like the scene of Peter and MJ walking down the street while talking right after Peter's lost his powers and he's back on top of his life again. It's like, dude, the little conversations in that movie, and it made me think about all of them. But that one on the street specifically, like he wants to come to MJ's show finally. He was an empty seat, and now he isn't anymore. He said, "Punch me, I bleed." Oh my! There's so much heart in just that alone. And then early on in the movie, when he's talking to Aunt May, and Aunt May's trying to give him money, and he's like, "I'm not. I cannot take this. I'm not going to take this money." And she says, "Yes, you can, and you will." Like, dude. Oh my! And then there's the moment where he finally tells Aunt May that he was there when Uncle Ben died, and he was in that position. Uncle Ben was in that position because of him. Dude, there's so much. There's so much to this movie that is just expertly fucking handled. And obviously, I love Spider-Man so much. So like, it's maybe a little bit of a bias from that as well. Way better than Tom's second movie. I'll tell you that much.
Can I break your heart real quick?
Go ahead, man.
Can I absolutely shatter your heart real quick?
Okay, let's do this.
I think that Spider-Man 2 is one of the most overrated superhero movies of all time.
Wow.
I think
That's
it's an
crazy
8
take.
out of 10. I think it's a good movie, but the amount of people who have it as one of the best or top 5 superhero movie, that's way overglazed in my opinion.
I guess I'd have to hear what your problems with the movie are to really like actually have a problem with you saying that, because I don't know. I like that is blasphemous to me, but I can understand why people don't like it as much. But
I mean, 8 out of 10 isn't a bad rating, of course. I think the
Sure.
movie is really good. It's the best of the Toby trilogy, easily. And I do think that I would be due for a rewatch to really be able to stand 10 toes on my take. But from the times that I've seen it, I've seen it a few times growing up and whatnot. It's been a couple of years at this point. I don't remember being particularly compelled by Peter losing his powers and what that means and the effect that it has on his character. That to me was not like a revolutionary storyline that I really resonated with and enjoyed seeing that journey and that return, and that
Really?
comeback for him. That's just what I remember. I'm just being truthful about that. It just didn't work
Dang.
for me. I'm totally okay with revisiting it and giving it fresh eyes. I'm not like biased against it, but I've always been of the opinion that people who have this as one of the best superhero movies ever are very much overglazing it. Just me.
Damn. I think that the storyline that it lays out with him at losing his powers and why he loses those powers and everything that like he has to try to balance in his life, I think it's immaculate. I think it's immaculately handled. Number 3. I guess I match Aiden here. Avengers Infinity War. For a lot of the same reasons that he listed, as well as Thanos. I think that Thanos is handled amazingly well. A very well fleshed out villain. His motives and everything that he goes about doing, and the hype moments and aura with it all as well. I mean, obviously, throwing a moon at Tony Stark was pretty cool. But beyond that, just obviously there's a lot of character focused moments. The Star-Lord thing that Aiden pointed out, I thought was phenomenal. And heartbreaking because like he never got that. That was the last moment he got to see her, and like his reaction was so human, and like we all hated him for it at the time, but like it was so human and so understandable. And then the ending, of course, which jaw was on the floor. Like you could argue that it's just a setup for Endgame kind of thing, but like it's a setup that is so internalized within the project that like it doesn't need to build into anything else necessarily. Whereas I might make the different distinction for 1 and 2. I think we're all kind of samey here, but I want to say I hesitate doing this after something I recently heard, but maybe you guys could provide, or just Benjamin could provide some insight, because I think this might help Aiden not like Across a little bit more. But I'm still going to put it number 2 into the Spider-Verse and number 1 Across the Spider-Verse. I still love Across more, but like the last like 20 minutes of the movie are pretty much
Yeah,
just set up for Beyond the Spider-Verse. And like when you look at Into, it's a much more like cohesive story. It's a complete story. Whereas like Across, and this was my problem with Daredevil Born Again as well. Like it was not a complete story. And I feel like I was pretty harsh on Born Again for that. And so I don't know, I hadn't thought about this with Across before. But like, sure, there's the moment that he's talking to his mom that isn't his mom in the apartment, which is a great scene character wise and everything like that. But it kind of falls flat because it's not his mom, and that's when the revelation comes that like this is all set up for the next movie. You know, like Gwen's arc, great, everything within that was great. I think up to what we got of Miles's arc was great in that. I know I'm saying like all the negative parts of Across, but I still have it at number one. Maybe it's just a personal taste for me, but like Aiden, how his you like the message of Into the Spider-Verse more than the message of Across. But
can I combat the point?
No,
you just
yeah, go
made?
ahead. No, this is what I brought it up for.
The way that I view it is we knew that this was going to be a part 1, part 2 when Across the Spider-Verse was announced from the very beginning. And I think a lot of us could assume that, okay, part 1, part 2, this is a grander story arc. I think that was my assumptions. That was a lot of people's assumptions. Even going into the movie and sitting down in the theater, I know a couple people who were like less informed than guys like us who are really into this stuff did leave the theater being like, what the heck? Like now I have to wait and, you know, they were underwhelmed by the ending. But as people who knew that this was going to be part of a story, if the third movie comes out and 2 and 3 Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse end up overall being a perfect 10 out of 10 story from beginning to end, I don't think it's unfair to only look at the Across the Spider-Verse portion, to only look at the first half of it and still say that that's a 10 out of 10 portion of the story. Even if you don't have a conclusion or a resolution, it's a grander story told across multiple movies. That's almost like taking something like Lord of the Rings, which I know you haven't seen, but there is individual pockets of things that happen throughout each Lord of the Rings movie. And there's, you know, victories and triumph, and like there's both sides of the coin throughout each of them. But ultimately, the story of Lord of the Rings is the 3 movies. And so like by the time the first one ends, it's clearly setting up like there's more journey to be had. But that doesn't belittle the journey that we got in the first film.
Absolutely not. And I agree with that last part.
Same way. I view it the same way. It's like we knew it was going to be split into multiple parts. So if this is still an absolute 10 out of 10 for the first portion of this story, it's not like I don't agree with critiquing the last 20 minutes being set up when like this was never going to be a movie that had resolution. It never was.
I mean, I don't know. You get into the nitty gritty of it in terms of as a complete movie. Obviously, as a complete movie, Into the Spider-Verse is better. You know, begins, middles, and it ends, and you know leaves a little bit left open, but obviously to feed into the second movie. My problems come with Across the Spider-Verse is that last 20 minutes, it feels like there are a lot of moments where it could end. You could end it right here, boom, perfect. Like the moment where he's running over the across the top of the building, and they're combating it with Gwen, and Gwen having to run and trying to save Miles. Like I think there's a definitive ending right there where it's like, boom, this would have been great. 10 out of 10 movie.
Like
this
comparing it to the end of the first one too, when he's swinging around like carefree, and then now he's swinging around with so much weighing him down. Oh,
and
man,
we even talked about that. We even talked about that in the episode, like those comparisons. And I think that's great. My problems more so come with the little bit after where we then see Gwen with her team of heroes, and then we get into the deliberate setup. This is deliberately ending on a cliffhanger to bleed into the next movie. Whereas,
but see, even
you could set up, and I feel like they did that setup perfect with him running across the tops of the building and Gwen panicking to go find him. You end it right there. That's perfect. That's Empire Strikes Back. Like we're good.
I don't.
An
I don't.
But
argument,
if you
hold on, an
start-
argument for Into, I want to say that doesn't even have to be seen as a cliffhanger. That could just be like a,
No,
oh, they
and that's what
they
I'm saying.
continue and they continue to live on their life like that. Like that doesn't
That's-
even have to be a, oh, there's going to be another movie kind of thing.
And that's why I think it's better, because you still look at Into the Spider-Verse as this is like a perfect movie. It's complete, boom, awesome. Then you look at Across the Spider-Verse, okay, then why do I look at this as the last 20 minutes or setup, or even just the last little bit of setup? Because they didn't know where to end it, and they didn't know where to just stop it and not have it be a massive cliffhanger. Whereas imagine if Empire Strikes Back ended with the first little bits of Return of the Jedi. And then it's like, okay, well, I feel like Across the Spider-Verse is kind of doing the same thing, where it's like you could have ended it right here, but then you extended it a little bit more to where we're basically seeing the beginning of Beyond the Spider-Verse. Okay, she's assembling the crew. We know where all of our players are. We're going into the next one. That section right there, like I hear what you're saying, Ben, but I look at Into the Spider-Verse for its complete runtime, perfect movie, structured beautifully, awesome. I look at Across the Spider-Verse for its entire runtime. Now, granted, I think that moment where Miles is running and you cut it off right there is perfect, but that's not its entire runtime. It has that little bit right there where I'm like, this did not land the plane as well as Into the Spider-Verse, and we're talking about 9.9 to 10. Like, let's just get that out of the way. Didn't land that little bit as well as Into the Spider-Verse did. Not to anyone's fault. I mean, you're setting up a third movie. Great. The stakes are huge. I get it. Personal taste.
I just all that I'll say is, while I disagree with you there on them misstepping with the ending of Across the Spider-Verse, regardless of that, even if you, which I will accept the fact that I think Into the Spider-Verse is a much more well-structured movie, beginning, middle, end. Obviously, no one's gonna disagree with that.
Yeah.
Even if you take that into account and you agree with that stance, I still would give it to Across the Spider-Verse simply for the fact of Miles Morales and the journey that he goes on and how they elevate that in the second movie. Him being an anomaly and the emotional weight that they are putting onto him and what he has to do, what they're expecting him to sacrifice, all of those things, to me, taking things to level 100. Like, the first movie is perfect as an origin story, is a great setup. Second movie, next level. So regardless of structure, which even if I gave you that point, I would still take Across the Spider-Verse simply for Miles' character work.
I was,
and I think that's where the difference
Charlie's
lies.
topic. Yeah. That was just Charlie bringing up the topic. So I mean, yeah, I've brought up my point. So
because I agree. That's what for me. That's what it is as well. Like in terms of everything that it does for Miles's story, I think is much. When I say much more interesting, I don't want it to sound like I'm dogging on Into, but I think Into is great. But everything that it does with Miles and the weight that he has on him throughout the entire runtime is crazy. As it just like he's sliding down a hill, it's crazy. Like everything that he's going through, and I think that me personally, I just love that a lot more than Into. So yeah, my top five are Guardians 3, Spider-Man 2, and Avengers Infinity War, and Into the Spider-Verse, and Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, a little side note that I wanted to give just with your top five, because you both had Infinity War in your top five and had it above Endgame, obviously. I think we could do an entire episode dedicated to Infinity War versus Endgame, where we prep points and whatnot, and that is the episode.
Granted, Ben, what you had said earlier, how this is your third rewatch. I rewatched Endgame countless of times, and so you had mentioned a point where you were like, "Yeah, I maybe it hasn't lost its charm for me." I think for a little bit, those rewatches started to bring up maybe a little bit more underlying issues I had with the movie, whereas all of the many times I rewatched Infinity War, I didn't really feel that, and so.
Yeah,
see, my only issue with that idea, Ben, is do you like Endgame more because of like what we're saying, like you just like it more of what it does with the characters and the story and everything, or are there like legitimate like story reasons, plot reasons, whatever it may be, that you enjoy more in Endgame and you think that Infinity War doesn't do as well?
Not that it doesn't do as well, because I think you're talking about 1A and 1B for the MCU. Sure. But I will defend story moments, time travel, 2014 Thanos. I will defend those things.
How can
I'm-
you defend
okay.
2014
I'm just
Thanos?
saying,
I'd be interested to
listen.
see how you defend 2014 Thanos.
Here's what I'll say. I want to get to that point in my rewatch that I'm doing right now with my wife, and then after that point, I'll let you guys know, hey, I think we should do this episode. We'll do a little bit of research so we can have some points fleshed out, and then we will do a dedicated debate episode, Endgame versus Infinity War, because I think that alone is a long discussion. I
For
think
sure.
so.
A lot of
I think-
clips.
I'm just saying. I think we could definitely do that, and I would love to. I would love to see how my opinion changes, but then I would also love to be on the defense a little bit with some of these points, because I had a video scripted at one point, or at least a decent start on a video scripted at
Remember
one
when he
point.
made YouTube videos, chat?
Okay. It's a sore subject. Yeah. I had a video that was like pretty. I had the concept down, and I was fleshing out those points of defense of here's why this thing that most people have an issue with, here's why it's actually good. And I was going to address the biggest critiques for Endgame. So I'd love to do it in a little debate fashion. Slap you guys up, double pump to the face, 2v1 action. But
Has he ever played Fortnite?
I've played 2 games.
Oh my gosh.
Probably both bot games, to be
Bro,
honest.
learn
but
double pump to the face from the internet, not just from playing the game.
I'm willing to admit that.
I'm a Fortnite veteran. I served 7 seasons overseas, buddy. You don't want to
7?
bring that action.
Only
here.
7? Wow.
Yeah, because the game fell off after that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
maybe,
did.
yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Fine.
I'd
I'll-
say
I'll-
maybe at least season 8, I'd say. I'd stop at season 8. Probably.
I'll 2v1 you guys, and I'll prep Creed style.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man.
Baby Creed.
But that
Don't
has
call me
been
that.
episode that has been episode 107 of the Words from the Nerds podcast. If you are listening or watching on YouTube, please do us the favor of firstly leaving a comment, and we will read it aloud on episode 108 if you drop a comment before we drop that next episode. Also, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we are coming at you with new episodes every single week. And if you're on a podcast listening platform of your choice, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., drop us a review, please. We deserve it, and you deserve to give it to us. And also, there should be a way for you to drop us some fan mail on there too, and we will read that aloud at the beginning of every episode, as long as you drop it before the next episode. Not every episode. I gotta stop saying that. Golly. But yeah, thank you all again for watching, listening. We hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day you're listening to this, and we will see you guys next time. Adios.
Sayonara.
Peace.